Well, I know y'all weren't expecting a gun review out of me for a minute, because you know your boy been saving up for that gaming rig, which is only 2 weeks away. But I had some free time, so I was like, might as well just make a video. So let's go ahead and hop into the M14. Yo, what is going on, guys? Tyler Rogue here, aka Light Skin Gamer LSG, and welcome to the M14 and Black Ops Declassified. Now, this weapon was recommended in the last video I did, which was on the AK-47, so if you actually have a suggestion on what gun I should do next, go ahead and leave a comment on this video. And YouTube actually is fixed on the Vita, so you can actually comment this time. So just go ahead and comment the gun you want me to review, and I'll gladly get to it. So this weapon is probably one of my favorites in the game, mainly because it's the only semi-automatic, but this weapon is powerful, low recoil, and is actually very accurate, and that's a very good thing, and it has a great range, and I love that about this weapon. So let's go ahead and get into the stats. The damage is two hits up close and 3 to 4 hits maybe if you have a suppressor at long range, but in all honesty these maps are super small, so that's actually null and void. I've never gotten 4 hits even with a suppressor from long range with this weapon. So let's go ahead and move on. We got the range, which is actually very good. It actually is one of the best, has the best range out of all the assault rifles, even though the clip size is 20 rounds, which isn't all that great, but at the same time it is a semi-automatic weapon, so that's actually exceptional because most semi-automatic weapons have 20 rounds in them. And the fire rate is actually very slow because it's semi-automatic, but if you just slap rapid fire on that boy, you good. You have nothing to worry about. So with all the stats knocked out of the way, let's go ahead and jump straight into the attachments. We got the red dot sight. Now, in all honesty, the red dot sight I actually like, but there's only a few issues I have with it. It feels a little bit clunky when I use it, but in all honesty, that's just me nitpicking. So the red dot sight is actually decent, but if you have no problem with the iron sights like myself, you honestly won't need it, but it does actually give you more accuracy. It makes everything more clear, even though your irons are clear in the first place. But if you feel more comfortable with a red dot sight, I highly recommend you use it if it makes you feel comfortable, whatever your playstyle is. Now, the way I did with this weapon was actually I had no difference in gameplay. It was still good. I mean, it makes your gun look different, no doubt, but in all honesty, it didn't make me perform better. Even though my sights were a lot clearer, it didn't make me perform better. It felt like I was still using my iron sights in a way, but it actually does make everything more clear. So like I said, it's all personal preference. I have no problem with the irons, so if you have problems with the irons, go ahead and use this attachment. So with the red dot sight knocked out of the way and my personal feel on it, so let's go ahead and move on to the next attachment, which is of course the Acog Sight. Now, the Acog Sight is probably a really nice fit on this weapon. It does give it a little kick, but in all honesty, it doesn't give it that much kick. It's not unusable, but the Acog Sight is a nice fit just because it's a semi-automatic rifle. If it has an Acog Sight, it is a monster at long range. But seeing how these maps are small and medium size, long range really isn't that necessary, but it does still give you some nice sight lines. And the Acog Scope, in my opinion, on this game looks a little weird, but I actually did better using the Acog Scope, which is really weird. I don't recommend it on like the AK-47 or the Galil or the Commando or Carbine in this game, but I actually did better with it on this. Like, even when it's on the M16, I've done better with it, and that's really odd to me, but in all honesty, that's actually pretty good. So if you actually want to use something else, I would recommend the Acog Sight if you stick to the irons. So let's go ahead and move on. We got the suppressor. Now, I was actually thinking, wow, if I put this boy on, maybe I might get probably even 5 hit markers before I even kill him. But in all honesty, there really wasn't that much of a change when I used a suppressor. Now, I did notice I did have to put an extra bullet into him maybe a few times, but other than that, I actually did really good, and that's actually what I use on the M14 most of the time. The suppressor makes it completely quiet because this gun is super loud, and it actually makes it's still a monster. And if you actually put rapid fire on it and a suppressor, man, it just pew 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 pew. It just be pewing, pew, pew, pew. It just be going crazy, man. I never expected a suppressor. Like, even when I put it on the carbine, I didn't like it that much because it felt like a BB gun. But when I put it on here, I still felt like I was doing damage, and that's actually hard for a suppressor to do in any type of FPS, is make the gun feel stronger even while putting a suppressor on it. I still felt like I was doing work, just like with the Galil. It still feels stronger, but it has a suppressor on it and it supposedly has less range. But seeing as how this gun has the best range out of all the assault rifles, that literally doesn't do much. So I'm actually really liking this weapon. I actually really dig this weapon attachment, and I actually recommend it if you're kind of sick of how the gun sounds, because it's really loud. So with that knocked out of the way, let's go ahead and move on. We got the grenade launcher, or noob tubes if people call them. Now, in all honesty, I'm not really a big fan of noob tubes. I found out early on when I bought this game that noob tubes were pretty OP, just like the bouncing betties or just any other explosive in the game was OP. So don't be a douchebag and use this. Please, don't use it. I stay away from noob tubes. You can use it if you want, but I have no use for noob tubes. Unless you want to be a douchebag, which I recommend you don't do, but come on now, they're noob tubes. Don't use them. But in all honesty, I only used it a few times just to review the sight. Now, I actually liked it on the carbine, which was really weird, but I don't know. Just don't use this, please. So we got as the perks. The perks, in all honesty, is based on your personal preference. If you love to be fast, go ahead and slap sleight of hand toughness and surplus on there. That happened to be one of my favorite combinations out of all the combinations that I can use, next to, of course, jammer or probably marksman. But my eyes are fine, so I definitely don't need that. But if I was to go ahead and wrap this gun up for the final verdict, I would have to say this weapon is a deadly combination of range, power, and accuracy. I really do dig this weapon, and it's a definite use in my opinion. Go ahead and try it out. It might take a little to get used to, but trust me, you'll have fun with it. So thank you guys for tuning in. I really hope you enjoyed this gun review. Leave your comment down below on the next gun I should review next. Like, comment, subscribe, and that is it, guys. Thanks for watching, and Tyrogue is out. For real? That's how we do it? Come on, man. Y'all still ain't fixed this shit? Man. I swear, man. I was loving this game. Loving it. This game. And this happens. Are you shitting me? Report that. How many reports do y'all get?